I'm joined by Abraham Marquez, a freelance journalist. Good to have you with us, Abraham. So, as a journalist, let us see how you looked at things and all those crimes happening in Gaza. And of course, as many people around the world have realized, it wouldn't have been possible without Washington's unflinching and all out support for the regime in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And
Sure.
I agree. None of this would be possible without the full support of the U.S. government, not only just morally, but even financially, and all the weapons that they are shuffling down to occupy Palestine. But also, we wouldn't know what's happening now if it wasn't for the courageous and bravery work by the journalists in Gaza.
All right, and what about, tell us about also this news that I just announced regarding all that adverse propaganda surrounding the actually Palestinian fighters like Hamas and others. On social media there was lots of false information around in terms of beheading and all that savage treatment. But when you look at the accounts of the Israeli captives release, they're saying totally otherwise, and they're even appreciating their humane behavior.
Yes, it's quite the contrast, right? In the U.S., we're constantly bombarded with propaganda to demonize the Palestinian resistance, to demonize Hamas. But what we're seeing now that the hostages have been released, they've had a completely different experience. They were treated humanely, as you previously read the letter of one of the ladies that came out with her daughter, that she's never felt as the center of the universe, and she felt very happy that so happy about the way she was treated, that she left that letter. She didn't have to do that, but she left that so that the world can see that they were treated humanely, and that is what we know is the complete opposite of how Palestinians are being treated since 1948. Children have been bombed, have been displaced. Schools have been destroyed, hospitals, daycares, refugee camps, more refugee camps, roads. It's the complete opposite of how the Israel government, as well as the U.S., how they treat and see Palestinian life.
All right, Ibrahim, Iran is asking for those who committed crimes against the people in Gaza to be brought to justice. Iran wants the ICC to expedite this investigation and actually uh, take them to court. Do you believe that the ICC can sit on the fence and bring the perpetrators to justice independently?
It's a. I wish I had a crystal ball. I can tell you, and can answer that question. We don't know what they can possibly do. But what we do know is that the world sees the truth. The world knows the truth. We have hit a turning point, I think, in the Palestinian support and the Palestinian resistance globally. We're looking at, here, I'm here in Los Angeles, but it's every week, every day, there's a demonstration, there's a teach out, there's teach-ins, there's screenings, there's something is always happening to educate people in Palestine. And because of that, we're seeing massive turnouts on the streets for protests. And look who's protesting. It's the same people who came out 2 years ago, 3 years ago in 2020 in solidarity with Black Lives Matter after the murder of George Floyd. It's the same people who came out, in support of Palestine in 2021 when there was another attack in Gaza. So we're seeing this turning point in society here in the U.S. That is, it's not going to go back to what they wish it was before this year.
Okay, appreciate that. Abraham Marquez, freelance journalist in LA.